welcome back to another Highway and Hideaway Adventures. Here we are today in Old Town Auburn. We are exploring the old town of the historic district here. First things first, we're going to go out and grab some breakfast. Then we're going to go ahead and take a ride down to the old Auburn area and to the historic buildings. Honey, anything you look forward to seeing today?
I've been here before. It's pretty cute, so just excited to see what's new or what they got going on.
Alrighty.
Auburn started when Claude Channa found gold near here, May 16th, 1848, Placer County Historical Society.
Alrighty guys, here we are at Mom's Kitchen, about to have some breakfast. We'll let you guys know how it is. We just happened to run into some rain. It is summertime and it is raining here in Auburn. Crazy. We brought no sweatshirts. Well, I brought no sweatshirt, no jacket, so hopefully it's not going to rain too long. Well, let's see how this food tastes. Seems very amazing so far. We ordered a great meal. However, my only issue is they gave me a baby cup of coffee when typically at home I have a gorilla sized cup of coffee. But it is some good Joe.
Hours later, they have a lot of
No worries. It's good?
Oh my God, they're making it good.
Well, sadly, I made the mistake and thought I ordered hash browns.
How come you have pancakes?
But I got bread instead because I asked for, she asked you if you wanted toast. She asked you what color bread or what kind of bread you wanted. And then I said, no, instead of bread, I want pancakes.
I thought it came with pancakes.
You can have one of mine.
No, but I thought it came with that.
Or toast.
Oh.
But you can have one of mine because I'm only going to eat one.
I mean, it's not a big deal. We never bring that. Everything's such a sauce.
Oh, dang, this pancake's hot.
They got my vote. I got hot food.
So far the wife loves it because the food's nice and hot. Let's taste their eggs. I'm very picky when it comes to my eggs. These eggs are delicious. Bacon's nice and thick. What do you think about their pancakes?
Their pancakes are so good. They're so soft and they're nice and hot.
Alrighty guys, so we just had breakfast at Mom's Kitchen. The food was amazing. The hospitality of the staff was, oh my God, so amazing as well. The chef, props to you, man. The food was nice and hot. It was all on point, no complaints. The wife says it was delicious, so Mom's Kitchen here in Auburn. I highly recommend it. And if you're in the area, I encourage you give it a place to try. I know everybody wants to eat at Awful Annie's, and it's a good place and all. We've eaten there many times on our way up to Reno, but Mom's Kitchen, I'll see you there. That's a cool hat. Wizards of Metal. Support our troops.
The Second Amendment.
Good morning, you two.
Hi, good morning.
That's pretty good.
Lisa, I'm the store owner. How are you? This is Duke.
Hey, Duke.
How cute.
Duke is 7 years old. He's a rescue. We just got him in November.
Aww, he's a cutie pie.
He is. I was just telling the story of what this actual room was. Back in the Gold Rush era, this was a sheriff's and jail. So the original fireplace here is where the sheriff would sit. On the opposite side, behind the bookshelves, there was a window with bars in it and bars that went across. So this was the jail. This whole building was a mercantile area, and this whole area was Chinatown.
Awesome, awesome.
Yep.
So how did you get your hands on this building here?
I actually got lucky and just rented this space from a fantastic landlord, and we all have our little booths here. We call them our mini stores, but it's a fantastic place.
And how long have you been here in this location?
Myself, 4 months, so I'm a newbie here, but I'm
Okay.
enjoying every moment of it. But Auburn's an amazing place, and the history here is amazing.
All right, guys, so you're here first. Come here, support this local business. Sheep.
How
If you guys don't know, Patricia has a thing for sheep. Here you have the Auburn Post Office.
Right here is the original wall. If you'd like to touch the oldest wall you can probably touch today. So went through a couple of lives, but in 1877 it became the post office for Auburn. Before that point, the post office jumped around a few different places, and before that, folks had to go down to Sacramento or San Francisco to get their mail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was just reading someone's notes from that time when he had to go down to Sacramento, and it was like a 2-day journey there to get mail. Yeah, so normally you do a few other errands as well. This structure, I think, is not the first, but one of the first brick buildings in town. And it was built rather serendipitously right before the fire in 1855. Mm-hmm. So the town around it burned down and it took some damage, but it was one of the first things that was up and running after reconstructing the town. If you'd like to look here and around the corner, these are original post boxes to the building. These are the older ones. The ones around the corner are...
It still looks so good.
Mm-hmm. It was made to last.
Yeah, for sure. Like, oh my gosh.
Here in Auburn or elsewhere?
No, in San Jose.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. But you look amazing. Love this look.
We all look. Oh, gosh. We're still working on our character. characters. He's
You guys do good. So you guys just do like little tours, you know, so one of the ladies inside the store.
The great part of this is that I'm going to give you an opportunity to open it and see what kind of security they have there. Be my guest.
I'm always telling him, I'm like, you'll find some people. You know, like one day he's in the back of the car, he's like, Mom, what if I was at Disco Ball of Lake?
That's a hefty say. 600, 800 pounds.
Wow.
Built about 1900, and there's a second door.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't mess around.
Yeah.
And then a third door.
Yeah.
Oh, up on the top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this is some thick
Gotta do
steel.
that, yeah. This is the way they did it back then.
Oh, I love your dinosaurs.
You can have a hard time hauling that one away.
Yeah, especially on a carriage, huh?
Yeah. The horses would rebel.
Yeah. The Gold Rush Museum. (1848).
All of these various routes took anywhere from 30 days to 90 days to get to San Francisco, where you completely abandon ship, desert the captain, and go run to the gold fields, which are right here. Or you come across by wagon train and you have to go through the Great Basin. You can go around that little pathway. Over here you have a model. So you would go here just for this from this museum, or are you going to use?
We're just looking around, shopping, eating. Oh, they gave us that. We went to the post office.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so I gave you.
Yeah. Can you find some this size?
Less than 6 months.
Can definitely try.
Can you find some this size?
I don't think I put all my hair.
I don't even know what I'm doing here. So the method is put dirt into the pan, swirl it around, and pick out the gold, and retire to a life of leisure.
It's about 6 times as heavy.
Oh, say nothing. Come on, honey, I need a new gold tooth.
The gold tooth?
Yeah,
You want a full grill?
full grill, honey.
See what I can do.
If I can't get a tooth, can we at least get enough for lunch? So are you worth your weight in gold?
Yeah. Let's go.
15 million, guys. We're now going to the Boss Canyon mine. These mines are one of the first places to have electricity. Miners for hire. Hard rock or quartz mines employed men as laborers. No longer were men mining for themselves, but for the mine owner. People from all backgrounds worked in the mines. Men from the region of Cornwall, England provided the mining expertise, but men from the South American, Mexico, China, and other parts of Europe also worked in the mines. Stephen Richards was the last man hanged in Auburn, convicted of shooting Thomas Nicholas in front of the American Hotel. He was hung with this rope at the Placer County Courthouse on January 11th, 1884. Sad.
I'm about to suffer for my crime. I'm sorry I committed it. It was whiskey that was the cause. I don't think I would have done it in my sober senses. That law says I must die. I am very sorry for it. And I bid you all goodbye. And I wish I will go to heaven. I hope I will. Goodbye again.
This here is a Chinese coolie. Dr. Kenneth H. Fox crafted this statue from 1 mile of reinforced steel, rebar, and 35 cubic yards of concrete. This Chinese coolie stands 22 feet high, is 33 feet long, and weighs 70 tons. This giant statue relocated to this historic site on November 27th, 1989. A gift to the community of Auburn from the following: Auburn Area Chamber of Commerce. Humongous.
Remained until 1889. The first telephone in Auburn was installed in room 43. It's crazy, huh? Mm-hmm. 1890 electric lights were installed, and it became the first in the state to have electric lights in every room.
Wow. Alrighty, here we are at the station, ready to get some lunch at downtown Auburn. Tri-tip sandwich and carnitas tacos. The station. Alrighty guys, so we just got done eating at the station in downtown Auburn. The food itself was pretty good.
It's all right.
The
tri-tip sandwich was pretty good.
Tri-tip sandwich, delicious. We also got the carnita fries.
Were not good at all.
And also, we're not trying to bash any restaurant. We're truly trying to give you the truth of what we think their food is worth, or if the place is worth visiting. And as we went to Mom's Cafe this morning, the service was amazing, the food was amazing, the staff was so friendly. I highly recommend that place. The station, however, our fries, our carnita fries, had a hair in it. Now, I know things happen, and hair gets everywhere. I got 3 granddaughters, a wife and a daughter, so I understand hair. However, as I reported to the staff or the server, they laughed about the situation and stated maybe it's a dog hair. That's the last thing I want to hear, is there's a dog hair in my food. A human hair, I'm not going to eat it. Obviously, they're going to correct the mistake, but to reference that...
Like, did they have a dog back there while they were making the food?
Possibly. Yeah. Now, this is a great establishment if you like alcohol. We're not big drinkers. We do have a drink from time to time. However, that's not our main source of why we go out to go eat or why we go try to go have something new. But the fact that pretty much everybody's here drinking, it's great. It's a great establishment for them. However, I'm here for the food. It's a restaurant, and
the hype's not all that. Don't waste your money.
What do you give that restaurant out of 1 to 10?
At me?
Yeah.
Maybe like a 3.
So it was good.
Service is everything, and they didn't have that.
So food was good. Service sucked. So that's on you to make the choice of coming out here. If you've been to this restaurant, you've had a different experience, let me know. But that's just our experience. So we're heading back down to another museum. We'll see you guys when we get there. Alrighty guys, here we are at the museum. The Placer County Museum, built in 1849. Oh, 1889. One of the old carriages. This is a treasure vault. All the gold. Wow. This vault holds 48 pieces of the gold that weighed more than 13 pounds. It was all mined from Placer County and includes different types of natural gold. Placer gold is made of smooth nugget shaped by water over time. Lodged gold has sharp edges and is still attached to its companion rock, which is usually quartz. But don't even get a funky feeling about anything, because it's motion sensor with an alarm. And you got a bunch of sheriffs here. Welcome to Placer. Welcome to the Placer County Museum.
Back in the 1800s. Wow. Here's some graffiti from the walls right here. Oh.
So this was a men's jail prior to the museum? Oh, you said this was some of the graffiti here?
Yeah, right on that post. They have plenty of time, I'm sure.
Yeah, arts and craft time, huh?
Yeah. A soda fountain that was in a drugstore here in downtown Auburn.
A soda fountain that was in the drugstore here in Auburn, huh?
So pretty.
Like 350, over 350 pieces of glass.
Wow. Wow, I'm sure some of you youngins never seen these telephones before. This was a switchboard, so you would call the operator. They would use a switchboard to patch over the phone calls. 1958. When I was a kid, we had TVs like this, and we didn't have a remote control, so your parent would grab you by the ear and tell you to change the channel, and you would walk up to the television and change it for them, and that was the first remote control there was. The Lodewick twins. Let me know what your favorite memory was with one of these Coke Pop machines here.
Passing around this outcropping required cutting a ledge around the outside.
Can you imagine if a soda was still 2 cents today? Huh.
The blasting
gas pump machine?
Before the snowy weather forced a retreat down the mountain until spring. By May of 1866, the track was laid around Cape Horn, and another impossible feat had been accomplished. Railroad travelers today can still look out their windows as they pass by Cape Horn.
This here was a sheriff's office.
Oh, that thing was safe in the wall.
That there was probably the gun safe
Look at the handcuffs.
for their era. Antique
Their gun case.
antique handcuffs. Wow, sorry, this is the gun safe here. This here is the woman's jail. I'm not sure if there just wasn't a lot of women committing crime back in the day, or if they just deserved a luxury suite. But this is a big facility, and you see there's one bed in here, so I'm sure they only obtained one customer at a time that were women. Seems like it would be pretty cold in here, as it pretty much is just a brick wall encasement.
Well, it says that in 1898, the jail held no dedicated cells for women. Instead, female prisoners were housed under guard in a local hotel rooms.
Wow. See, women had it good back in the day. They were held captive they were held guard at a hotel because there wasn't enough women inmates. What a beautiful building here. Historic. The Auburn Courthouse. Wow. Historic and beautiful architecture. Tell me this architecture for this building isn't beautiful. Wow. Alright guys, here we are at the Bernard Museum. It's going to be our last stop for the day before we head home.
A bed and, you know, kind of like a hotel for miners who were coming through. Okay. And so at one time the house was only from here up and over. Gold miners would come, they'd bring their bedrolls, put them upstairs, and then they would come downstairs for a good meal on their way up to the gold mines. And so eventually the two gentlemen who had this as a hotel, one of them sold to the other and he made it a family residence, and that's when they added on this part of the house right over here. And so then unfortunately he fell into financial problems, and so I'll introduce you to the Bernhards. This is Bernhard, they used to call him Bernard, and his lovely wife Rosa. And he was a teamster, and so basically he sold supplies to all the gold miners, and he would go to local stores down in San Francisco, bring them up and sell them to the miners or sell them to local stores up here. And so that's how he made his livelihood. He actually didn't make his wealth through gold, he made it through selling things. And so his wife had come over, they married, they fell in love on a boat coming over from Germany, and then they artwork like the little horseshoe right here that looks like flowers. This is very unique. This is called hair art. Now, you and I would take our hair out of our hairbrush and throw it away. They did not. They would use it and twist it and make it into pictures. As you can see, it was very expensive. Another thing they did is pressing flowers was very popular during this time period. And so they would press flowers, and then you can see the silhouette that they've drawn on it. They actually paint the art. These were actually made in the Folsom Prison. They were made out of cigar boxes and out of pine cones. And so and what they would do is, if they didn't have somebody playing music for them in this room, they would wind it up, they would lift the needle, they would take the outside off the cylinder, it's a wax cylinder on the inside, and then they would lower the needle on it, and it would play off of the grooves in the wax, and it plays music.
Wow, that's interesting.
See, this looks like a very comfy bed. It is actually not that comfortable, because what they did is they would stuff their mattresses with horsehair.
Oh, wow.
It was better than sitting on just a straight, wooden plank. Right here, what makes her kind of special is dolls were very expensive back then. The Bernhardt children probably wouldn't have owned many unless they happened to be lucky enough to win one at a county fair. This little dolly right here, she has real human hair, and she's got crystal eyes, which is kind of standard. But one of the ways that they entertain themselves is, this is called a stereoscope. And the way it works is they would sit up in front of a lighted area, and you'll notice there's two pictures on here, and as you look through it and you look into the light, if you slide it forward, it gives you kind of the 3D effect. It turns two pictures into one. This right here, kidney-shaped dish, that is a bone dish. During this time period, people were discouraged in the Victorian time period from picking things up with their fingers. The only things you were allowed to eat with your fingers at the table would have been like, pickles and asparagus, but everything else, you were expected to take it off your plate and not pick it up with your fingers. This was a bone dish. So you would take your bone and put it into the kidney-shaped dish right here to get it. And most of us don't have two kitchens in our house. Here, even though you have the two doors, you wouldn't want to leave them open, because of course you get bugs and things in the house. So because of that, in the wintertime, they would cook in this kitchen. In the summertime, as you walk around the house, you'll see a white building outside. That was the summer kitchen, because they could open up all the sides of it, and they have a wood burning stove in there. And yes, it still works. The one outside, we use it for living history with the kids. The parlor was a special invite. But in here, children would have brought their train sets in here. They would have brought their rocking horses in here. They would have, a little girl might be sitting on the settee over here with her little doll or reading a book. They also played the piano. This piano is very special in the fact that it's a Steinway, and the way they shift the Steinway is very unique. the legs actually come off of the piano, so it would ship flat. And then when they would get it here, they'd have quite a few men lift it and they'd put the legs back on it. It was just a really great way to be able to do it. And in fact, if you ever want to hear, there was a wonderful musician who came through here, and she played all the musical instruments in the house. And if you ever want to listen to them, if you scan that right there, it shows her playing this piano and all of the other, instruments in the house, which is kind of neat. So you can hear them actually what they sounded like. So, and once again, this room, you can see.
Scan the barcode if you want to hear the music played.
One thing I hadn't mentioned is the house did have electricity, but it was very sketchy. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, when, the Bernhardts were first here. So, as you can see, the little rings that are off of the two that are kind of like, well, that was for if the electricity was not working in these two bulbs, they could turn those little rings clock. So it's, well, you'll hear it probably go off in the next, I don't know, few minutes. Sometimes it goes off, sometimes.
It's different.
Now, when the people would stay here, when it was, kind of like a hotel, this was most likely, we believe, maybe a woman's room. And the reason we say that, it's the only room. Thank you for doing what I asked you to do. It had a lock on it, and so once again, for her privacy and her safety, she would have a lock. But this was the general size of a room. They were pretty small, big enough for a bed. This one, though, we have set it up to look like a sewing room, and that is a full-size woman's dress.
Oh, wow.
So they were, like I said, a little smaller than we were during this time period. The other thing is, if you're thinking nobody's waist is that was instead. So you can see, look at the waist on that one.
Wow.
Once again, she probably got to sit on that fainting couch a few times.
Yeah.
This is a commode that they would have. That actually was a little later than the time period we're talking about right now. But the way it worked is the bottom opens up, and it's almost like they have kitty litter in it. And so that would have been another job.
So this was the outdoor kitchen that she was mentioning, that you could open all the windows up for a cooler cooking experience. Baby, that's like the first washing machine I bought you. And this here is all the wagons for the fruit. Some of the other wagons here they have, U.S. mail. This here looks like it was a hearse for the deceased.
It was built in the 1860s.
1860s hearse. And you see there it has the lights on it, so I'm sure that it would light it with kerosene, so that way they can see when they were driving in the nighttime. All right, everyone. With that, we're gonna go ahead and end today's video here. We want to thank you guys for joining us along with our trip to Auburn. We are trying to get out and enjoy as much as we can. Little wife is gonna soon have back surgery. We're waiting to go to one of her appointments before we figure out when the actual surgery date is. So we're gonna try to get out as much as possible to enjoy what we can before she has back surgery. So once again, we want to thank you guys for coming out with us. Let us know what your favorite part of the video was.
See you soon.
Alrighty guys, thank you very much. See you on the next one.